Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 113-108 victory. Preseason victory against the Washington Wizards, but not only did the Toronto Raptors win tonight, Sam Dekker was the true winner of this game because he probably earned himself a roster spot. People are saying people are overreacting, or we're overreacting by putting him in the thumbnail and saying he's probably made the team, but Ryker, I was overreacting. I didn't even get to react to the podcast. I only watched 2 minutes of that Celtics game, but I saw him hit a clutch three. After that point, I was completely sold on Dekker, even though he had that trash game against Houston in the previous one. But tonight, 18 points in 16 minutes. 4 of 5 from the three-point line, and was just Splash Mountain out there. People were debating the nickname of Svi Mikhailuk being Splash Bandicoot, but tonight, I don't even know what to call Sam Dekker, Ryker. It was a remarkable performance.
Call Sam Dekker a Toronto Raptor, Ben.
That's what we're calling him, baby.
He splashed. I'm trying to get my follow through on the stream. He splashed his way into that final roster spot. That's a fact, and I believe in it because this is the pressure game. This is the win or go home. This is the play or don't get an NBA contract game. The pressure couldn't be any higher for that man. And he completely outperformed everyone off the bench in 9 minutes. He had 18 points and he shot 4 for 5 from 3, and his only miss would have been the craziest shot. So this man absolutely, I was just about to do the old double negative or the absolutely probably will make the roster because nothing is certain, but I think he played well enough to get one of those final 2 spots, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Mr. Bro saying there's one spot between Wainwright, Dekker, Freddie, Perry. I don't think that's the case. I think there's 2 spots between all of those guys, and obviously Isaac Bonga. He's not guaranteed on the roster as of this point, unless we're missing some crazy tweets that popped out. But if I had to make the takes, and we said this during the whole live reaction, we may as well stick with the end of the bench guys, because tonight was the night for the end of the bench players, the people that want to earn their minutes, earn their spots, and do these sorts of things, right? Ishmael Wainwright also had himself a solid performance tonight with his 7 points, but plus 20 for the game. A plus 20, and this game was close. The Raptors were down for a large chunk of this one. Once Wainwright sort of got the opportunities over Bonga was a minus 13 for this game. When Wainwright was put in, his impact was felt, whether it be on the defensive end, getting rebounds, hitting shots, being a threat out there from the outside. I believe 2 of those guys they really earned their spots in this one, and I'm happy for especially Wainwright because just his physical attributes paired alongside the ability to shoot threes, Ryker, that's a guy that he's going to provide value to you if you need to throw him in any situation.
Happy for him, happy for us. I mean, you can't give a guy a PJ Tucker comparison who's been a fixture of the NBA, who's consistently a starter on every team that he goes and plays for. You know, you can't give a guy that comparison just to be cut from the roster, not even make the final 2 spots for, 14th and 15th guy. I think he proved his worth in this one, hitting that corner 3, playing solid, all the points that you mentioned. That is a more logical pick than a guy who's not as high IQ and Isaac Bonga, right? Doesn't really provide it. I don't even know if we saw Reggie Perry play, maybe the game that I didn't watch, but those two sure to me. And Nabe is going to make it. Svi Mikhailuk is going to make it. So those were the guys that we initially thought maybe they'd all be competing for the final 2 spots. But the way it's played out, I don't think there's going to be any surprises, any steals, any, cuts that don't make sense. I think it'll all play out the way that we're expecting on this podcast right now, Ben.
Yeah, Freddie Gillespie did have a strong end to this game, but I think everything leading into the last 3 minutes where he may have tried to redeem himself and maybe just redeemed himself in the hearts of Raptors fans, right? But outside of that, I think Freddie Gillespie's off. He's just doesn't really have a shot there. So I believe it'll be between Bonga, Dekker, as well as Ishmael Wainwright. I think those are the guys. Bonga, I don't know if necessarily he's a low IQ basketball player. I don't know if because he's a decent passer. He's kind of a big man that can play, can do these sorts of things. But just the ability to sort of because it doesn't look like he's making bad reads, just doesn't have that takeover. Didn't impress in this preseason, maybe during practice. He did end up getting the start tonight, so I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Nurse is higher on him and doesn't want to react to Dekker's one remarkable performance or Ishmael playing solid in the games. But you have to take actual games and stuff into consideration when you're picking guys. And as you said, when the moments were at his highest, when the lights were as bright as they're gonna be, Dekker balled out, and you got to give him credit for that. So that's a positive thing there. But one guy off the bench, Ryker, if we're going to move away from the guys competing for roster spots, a guy not competing for a roster spot, but at the start of preseason looked like he was competing for at least a position on this team, or at least in the rotation. Malachi Flynn didn't really get in the first half of a lot of these games, but he has been balling out, specifically in the fourth quarters of the past few games. Tonight, 22 points, fourth quarter Flynn, and 3 assists, a couple steals, a couple of rebounds, but just some clutch baskets. Was able to splash that baby home. The Crimson Flynn, Paul Bunt's been saying, in like Flynn whenever a shot would go down. What are your thoughts on Malachi right now?
I love how they attributed the block. Who was on the ground? Gafford was on the ground, sitting.
You're spoiling the rebound segments, Ryker.
Oh shoot! I won't say any more. Malachi Flynn, we've been critical. If you've been following along to our preseason podcast, the narrative has been from me that Malachi Flynn could play himself out of the roster, or out of the backup point guard minutes, and could instead be assumed by Banton. If Banton keeps having good games, Malachi Flynn keeps having poor games. But in a game like this, it goes to show Malachi Flynn's minutes are probably secured. He only needs to do this every now and then. Ideally, he does it all of the time, because he would be not our 6th man, right? Obviously, that's going to be Gary Trent Jr. or Scottie. Not our 7th man, that's going to be Dragic. But he would be our 8th man. And that's still a valuable... Well, he would be our true backup point guard. So I hope he figures it out, because, we have high hopes for this guy who we did compare to Steph Curry last preseason.
Well, if Flynn struggles starting off this year, we might have to say preseason Flynn, because last year during preseason, we were stoked about this guy, clamping up LaMelo Ball, all those sorts of things. But it's he's a beast. Malachi Flynn, we're high on Flynn. And it wasn't a question of, do we like Flynn, do we not? It's Delano Banton. He has impressed immensely this preseason and summer league. Everything we've seen from him on the court tonight, probably his worst preseason game, 1 of 6 from the field, but still managed to be a +9 for the game. Had a really nice 3-pointer block and just plays great defense. And on top of it, Ryker, 5 assists from your 6'9". Whether he's playing point guard, we don't have positions on the Toronto Raptors. Even in games where the shots aren't going down, even though the 2 points that he had was a pretty ridiculous... His body is nothing like D-Rose, so I don't want to call it a D-Rose, but it was a D-Rose-esque move, splitting the defense when a defender hedges on a screen, and just did a one dribble straight to the rim like Giannis. A mix of D-Rose and Giannis, Delano Banton. Am I overreacting with that comparison, Ryker?
Yes. Yeah, it's an overreaction, but hey, we're both on the Delano Banton.
MVP and MVP Giannis in one?
No, he's actually separate from both of those and somewhere far below, but that's it. Hey, it's okay to overreact to what is he? A Markham native, a Canadian guy that could be a true rotation piece a couple years down the road. And hey, if he plays as hard as he has this preseason, he might get those backup minutes, deep bench scrub burner minutes when we're up by a bunch or down by a bunch. And he might play his way into, 5-10 minutes regular rotation. And that would be a big win for Banton in his first NBA season for a guy we thought was going to take for 2 years. Yeah. So, yeah, nothing but praise for this man. I will say quickly, too, people are asking where Boucher is tonight. Obviously no Pascal Siakam, who's coming back from injury mid-season. Boucher is coming back from hand surgery, so that'll be a couple weeks still. Who else was out?
OG was out tonight. Our number one option, our superstar, our savior.
He was probably resting.
Yep, he's resting. Fred VanVleet's resting. And we're out here crushing the Wizards. Ryker, our second unit's crushing the Washington Wizards.
Yeah. when your best player is your best player is Bradley Beal, and he played tonight, but he's a no factor when you have Scottie Barnes clamping him. Ugh. Another huge game from Scottie B, who's probably Magic Johnson out there with his clean dishes and everything. But we got a super chat, Ben. We can't.
Well, speaking of Scottie Barnes, gonna have to get the Scottie Barnes laser eyes out here for the nameless super chat with the 699 super chat. So,
well, comment again. Give us a name so we can at least
give you a shout
commend.
Out. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't have to be a super chat. It can be. It's
even the picture.
But that looks like a cool picture, actually. Yeah, you scope out that picture and show off that fresh cut, Ryker, because I think a lot of people in this chat, we didn't get the chat on the haircut in this live stream. We usually save the banter for the end, but I think the haircut's a bit too much to talk about. It's looking fresh.
Appreciate that. I won't catch myself in the same trap that I did during the live stream where some comments were made. Comments such as, there's nothing better than the gentle touch of a man barber. I got, it turned into a bit of a meme, but that's it. We're moving right along. Maybe into the segments, Ben.
Well, no, we got to talk about Scottie Barnes a bit. We just had the segue into him. Paul Blunt's having the super Scottie in the chats right now, Ryker, because he had 9 points, 7 assists for him tonight, 3 rebounds, continues to play remarkable defense. As we said, getting the clamps on whoever's out there on the court. So, Ryker, we kind of briefly had this discussion in the chatty, this is live too, so we can't even say during the live stream. However, Scottie Barnes, especially with Pascal Siakam back, because we know he's probably going to start at the 4 while Siakam's out and Boucher's out especially. Is he knocking on Gary Trent's starting shooting guard position door right now?
This is a perfect topic of debate. We can open it up again during the final 2 minutes, but as intense of an argument one way or another as you can, sound off. Who should be the starter at the 2? Gary Trent Jr. or Scottie Barnes? Once Pascal Siakam comes back, because we have locks at the 1 and Fred VanVleet, the 3 and OG, the 4 and Pascal, and the 5 and Achiuwa or Birch, right? Scottie Barnes or Gary Trent Jr. Both of us are thinking maybe Scottie Barnes. Maybe you would prefer that defense. Maybe he's shown enough offensively, even though he's only averaging about 10 points per game, but he's, facilitating the basketball. His IQ looks sharp, right? He's rebounding the ball. He's a long body paired alongside OG. This could be a really dynamic duo in the NBA from just the transition, creating athleticism, defensive 2-3 combo. I really like it, Ben.
Yeah. No, I'm high on Gary Trent. I like the scoring dynamic. He can sort of play off of an OG and Fred. But the thing about it is, OG's a shot creator at this point, right? OG's a guy that can, create his own bucket. Fred VanVleet's a guy that can get his own bucket. Siakam's a guy that can get his own bucket. And Precious Achiuwa is developing, but he's hitting threes. He's quick. He's got a bit of a handle these days, right? So the big question about the Toronto Raptors is, will we have enough shot creation? And Gary Trent Jr., that's the one thing he thrives at, is shot creation. But it seems like everyone else, maybe with the exception of a Birch or Achiuwa, in the starting lineup can sort of do that. Scottie Barnes, we saw tonight, hit some nice jumpers and can shoot those floaters, but he's a nice complementary piece to have maybe around those guys. And Trent, not necessarily the most aggressive passer, I want to say. He's not a guy that's going to be passing when he's in his moves. He loves taking those middies, which he's good at, right? And, he shoots a lot of tough shots, but those are the types of guys that sort of thrive in those bench positions. Love to come off, and, in the Raptors, yes, Svi Mikhailuk looks very encouraging. Tonight, certainly his worst preseason game, 2 points, but, we still have in this case, Dragic, who had a strong game himself, 16 points, and a couple people in the chat said that Dragic should be the starter himself, but I'm thinking more of a deal that should be long term. And Dragic, I like his energy off the bench facilitating. Obviously, Malachi can get some buckets there, but the scoring is less consistent from those guys off the bench, maybe with exception of a Chris Boucher. So maybe it's maybe we need that scoring off the bench from Trent, have Scottie Barnes dynamic there. He's a 4th pick for a reason. You want those picks to be the type of guy that can, thrive in your roster. And if he wants to win Rookie of the Year, it's probably more ideal if he's starting, Riker.
Yeah, I'm just reading through. It's pretty split. What was your final point? Who should be the starter?
I get both ways. I kind of stay on the fence, but for long term, just Scottie Barnes is going to be a starter. He's going to be a leader for this team. You may as well just start it off with it right now.
Well, some people are saying he needs to at least earn those minutes. Other people are saying, well, Josh, we might as well bring in his argument too, is you just paid Gary Trent Jr. You traded Norman Powell 44% from the three that season. Last season, you traded him just to pay Gary Trent Jr. basically the same money, then to put him off the bench. It's not the best look, but I don't agree with that argument because you play the best players, right? And if yeah. So anyways, we'll see what happens. It's pretty divided in the comment section. We'll take a quick pause for a like spike. We have 350 people and we can get to 100 likes. Again, it helps the channel. We're boosting it up. We can do it. Get to 100 likes, por favor. And let's move it into the segments, man.
Yeah, let's swing into the segments. And tonight, the spicy P-lay of the day. There was a few in this one, Riker, that we could definitely talk about. Is there one that sort of takes you off by stride?
Oh,
because I think it doesn't go to just one play. I think it's got to go to Sam Dekker just hitting all these ridiculous shots left, right, and center, just earning his spot onto this roster, or at least doing the most that he can to get there, Riker.
That's an amazing point because in 8 minutes he had 4 for 4 from deep. He had 18 points. It was insane, his output. Instant offense, microwave. He earned his way onto the roster probably. So we'll see what happens. Ben, we got an OG in the comment section, Paul Blunt, with a question in the super chat.
Yeah, we got a super chat. Would starting Dragic improve his trade value? And he had a few shots tonight that could have maybe earned him a spicy PLA of the day as well. But I that's definitely a solid point there. Maybe that's Nick Nurse's strategy. But we're all about the Raptors winning, right? So do we even want to trade Dragic? Do we just want to play the best players, see what's going to happen? Yes, I think if the Raptors are struggling and we start off the season 2-8 or something like that, like we did last year, then starting Dragic, getting his trade value up, and then we'll probably end up trading Boucher and going super young with this squad. People are saying the 4-point play and the slam dunk from John Hamilton, L Trickster. Those are specific plays that could definitely go down. So it's yeah, that's stuff for Sam Dekker there. But if the Raptors are trying to win, let's keep Dragic. Let's keep it rolling. But that's a fair point by Paul Blunt, depending on how the Raptors do this season.
It's yes, it depends on what they're trying to do. But if you're not competitive enough to be a good playoff team and you want to trade Dragic, but you're not bad enough to tank, to me that's a missed season. You might as well compete as hard as you can. I don't see the need in tanking twice. Right? Call me an optimist, whatever you want. But I'd say keep him off the bench. He would be, a great complementary veteran. He's not really a passing point guard, shooting guard. He's a scorer. So put him alongside Malachi Flynn. You have a lot of offense off the bench. That was our big problem last year. We just didn't have that scoring.
Stanley Johnson,
Gordon Dragic,
he couldn't get buckets off the bench.
I forgot about Stanley Johnson and his amazing offensive night in, night out consistency, right? His improved 3-point shooting, his ability to finish layups in the lane without making mistakes. That was Stanley Johnson's big thing. Now, he was a big OGs every day that he stepped out on the court, what was the OGs of tonight, Ben?
Well, we gotta let's play the animation record, because not all
introduce it the right way.
The spicy play of the day. Some just make you say, "Oh, geez," and tonight the OGs play of the day. You alerted to it earlier. You were spoiling segments, Riker, but I think it was Daniel Gafford chilling on the floor. He missed a shot. He ended up catching his own rebound on the ground, and Malachi Flynn acted as when you're playing against children, preschoolers, and they're shooting those shots. I coach youth basketball, love swatting the kids in 1v1. You feel good, you feel powerful. And then Malachi Flynn, he had that feeling there today when that shot was thrown up from the floor. just a pure swat from Malachi with Gaffer just chilling on the ground trying to shoot those shots. Shout out Malachi getting that block onto the box score definitely made me say, "Oh geez."
Yep.
And Paul Blunt with the laser eyes. We got our first Jenny Driscoll comment of the season from Jen.
Keep it alive. Never let it die.
The love will.
Shout out Jenny Driscoll. Yeah, we'll have to dig up that story again for those that are new to the podcast this season, and bring them up to speed with how Jenny Driscoll has become a Raptors Digest comment section legend. She's probably never even watched any of these videos. Probably be extremely weirded out that she's being brought up, but when I accidentally name dropped her, of course it was gonna take. So it's just legendary at this point. Ben,
you're really owning this now.
Soon to be, yeah. Soon to be the Golden Kazoo.
Yes.
The Gold Star. Shout out to Scrambles.
Shout out Scrambles.
Enjoy the final couple of post-game reactions with the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance of the evening. That's the official title.
Throw some D's into the chat for Damari.
Yep. Toss some D's into the comment section for Damari Carroll. People just don't know who he is anymore. So we had to change the name. We've been debating it for a while.
Spam the D's.
Soon to be spam the capital D in the comment section for Damari Carroll. The Damari Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance of the evening, Ben. Literally, it has to go to Isaac Bonga because he had the opportunity in the starting lineup of this one, playing for one of those final 2 roster spots, picking up 4 quick fouls, not having the opportunity to shine, probably being cut. A lot of things went wrong for this man, but I don't want to add injury. Now I see all the D's flowing into the comment section. Damari Carroll. Spam the D's, guys. Spam the D's. But I think, Ben, instead of giving it to a Raptors player in the final preseason game, especially to a guy who's probably going to get cut, let's give it to the Washington Wizards for being defeated by the Raptors deep bench.
Yeah, that's tough. The Washington Wizards, they got some guys in there. They got Bradley Beal. They got Spencer Dinwiddie. They picked up some guys, Kuzma. They picked up Caldwell Pope. They got Montrezl Harrell. They still have some guys on their squad. I know they're missing Hachimura tonight, I believe, and I don't even know if Denny was on the court. Didn't even see him if I felt like he was there. But they're losing to a Raptors team without Fred, without OG, without Pascal and Boucher, and they were running their starters for at least a solid little bit of this game.
Bradley Beal played 30 minutes this game. Kyle Kuzma played 30 minutes. Dinwiddie played 25. Montrez played 21. Caldwell Pope played 22. I mean, Bradley Beal. Oh, Ben. Can we make a new award? The Scottie Barnes Award. It can't be given to anybody but Scottie Barnes.
Down with that elite D.
And he'll only get it on nights where he truly deserves it, which will probably be every night. Bradley Beal played 29 legitimate minutes in this game. The league's second best scorer in the entire NBA. That's what in the league means. I realized that. Last season, he averaged 30 points per game, and in 29 minutes of preseason action against our deep bench unit, he only shot 1 for 11. Against Scottie Barnes, 9%. He didn't even hit double-digit percentage. Scottie Barnes, he's going to be the next. He's the next Magic Johnson. He's the next Kawhi Leonard. He's the next Giannis. Then we're gifted. We're gifted.
We have been blessed. Honestly, we'll play the Kazoos out in honor of Baines, in honor of the Kazoos. Oh, it's playing right. The Kazoos, the Trailin' L's. Scottie Barnes was blessed to us. We're playing all of the Baines animations before all the keyboards they get removed from the drafts. Aaron Baines, thank you. The Toronto 20 what year was it last year? The 2020 Toronto Raptors. Bless thee. 2020-2021 because they gave us Aaron, I was gonna say they gave us Aaron Baines. They gave us Scottie Barnes.
I might be frozen. No, I don't think I'm frozen anymore. If any Wizards fan is watching this is the reason that people don't like our podcast and Raptors fans, because we're obviously overreacting to, as somebody pointed out, Genfro. This was preseason Beal, but we have a running rivalry now with Run It Back Philly. He's genuinely salty that we really celebrated our first preseason win against Philadelphia 76ers. We will be battling him back and forth in the comment section of our live streams. Maybe we'll get into a Wizards live stream and throw some shade at Bradley Beal, their star player, especially when Scottie Barnes continues
beefing with other YouTubers. Throw it in the chat if you want to see us start beefing with other teams' YouTubers.
We're in the final 2 minutes. It's obviously gone off the rails like 10 minutes ago, but we're clearly in the final 2 minutes. So this is the next point.
We gotta play the alarm. We gotta play the alarm, Riker. Yo, I gotta say, did you watch the end of last live stream last night? I know you were having Thanksgiving festivities.
No, I didn't see it.
But Josh was slacking on his alarm duties. He was slacking. So we need to spice up the alarm on this podcast here today.
All right.
Let's get it. Woo 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 beep 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 woo 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 woo. The final alarm has gone off. The final alarm has gone off. What were you gonna sound off on? Let's get a like spike going for this. We're almost at 100 likes. We're at 96.
We're only 3 likes away. We've probably flip-flopped back and forth. This one is a bit chaotic, probably for the casual viewer to truly appreciate. Only the real Raptors Digest fans like it when we just get this off kilter. But what I wanted to put into, should the Raptors Digest be more active in other fan bases podcasts? I know the Knicks have Knicks TV. They do live game reactions. Run It Back Philly does live game reactions. Should we scope out all of the other teams and just start trolling in the comment section?
Should we make it a segment?
We could make it a segment, and we could make actually a video of it. We could just do we could troll videos other channels throughout the week and then just do a recap video on who we frustrate the most as Raptors fans, throwing shade.
Do you remember one of our first ideas, because we started this in 2017, and then 2 months into it we're gonna do a spin-off channel where we write just the worst takes that were believable in other people's subreddits and Twitter pages and just absolutely troll people and throw it on YouTube, and then we'd spend so much time crafting the perfect hate comment on Jason Tatum or whoever is on whatever team, and then it would just get removed immediately. So that's maybe we should bring it back with our actual channel. Yeah.
Now hate is very aggressive. Yeah, no. Shade and trolling, it's all has to be in the spirit, obviously, of good humor and fun.
It was always the Celtics should trade Jason Tatum because he missed a shot.
Yeah, and Pascal Siakam is obviously better than Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a poor man's, insert a bad player. Yeah. Poor man's Tyreek Evans. So we can get a little bit off the rails with it. I'm seeing some emphatic yeses, heck yeses. We should do that. So Ben, I think we've crafted a new recurring segment idea. I'm glad we I'm glad we brainstormed this one. Raptors Digest, just recapping, just throwing shade during other teams' live streams and seeing who we can frustrate the most. So we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back to basketball, Toronto Raptors, the final 2 minutes. It really is your guys in the comment section time to ask your questions, to shoot your shot. Yeah, people are talking about Kyrie Irving.
Apparently Ben Simmons is back. Someone said he's playing tonight in the comments. I don't know if that's facts.
I don't think the 76ers are playing this evening, Ben.
Well, then we got trolled. Genfro, the Troll Digest. We're getting trolled on this one. Kyrie Irving apparently is I read a take during the game. Apparently he's not an anti-vaxxer. He just feels bad for people losing their jobs for it. So it's like a stance. He's not even afraid of it. So I'm sure that's going to go over well with the Brooklyn Nets.
we don't need to get into the politics of his decision. That's up for you to make and internalize and talk on different forums, not ours. What we can talk about is the basketball part of his decision, which is right now he's disqualified from practicing with the team, playing home games, and I read most recently playing any game until they further iterate the eligibility of non-vaccinated players. So it's interesting to see how that one will play out. I hope the Raptors don't put in any offer for him because I don't want Kyrie Irving on the Toronto Raptors, regardless of his skill, his talent. He's the one guy, like the only guy in the NBA where I truly believe his personality would just be too disruptive. Ben Simmons, you could maybe say the same, right? But Kyrie Irving, absolutely.
I'm playing the Young Socialite animation. Any chance we get to play, I'm very proud of that. That emo dancing background with the effects and all that. But El Trickster was asking, we have a serious question here. How do two-way contracts work? So basically, you got to play a certain number of games in the league, or you're signed for a few games in the league, and then you also play a bunch in the G League. You essentially go back and forth through teams. You're officially on the roster. Like the Champagny and David Johnson, they're not getting cut. However, they go back and forth. So they're not currently fighting. And I saw this from the beginning of the podcast. People were saying, will Champagny get cut? Will Johnson get cut? We're forgetting about them. No. So they're officially signed to two-way deals. So that's how their contracts are sort of organized. And then it's Wainwright, it's Dekker, it's Utah's officially been signed, but it's Wainwright, Dekker, Bonga, Gillespie, and Reggie Perry fighting for those last couple spots. So that's how that whole situation sort of plays out.
Yep. Kyrie Irving. That's pretty funny. And people are going into the Kyrie Irving spot. There's really been no rumors. The rumor around the Brooklyn Nets was a potential Boucher for Claxton, somebody else, weird trade. Glad that didn't happen. Obviously, very happy that we picked up Achiuwa in that Lowry trade. And who said it? Predator Kingdom. Was Pat Riley drunk when he gave us Precious Achiuwa? Certainly looks like that, especially when Kyle Lowry probably would have signed with the Miami Heat.
Break out the propaganda.
Break out the propaganda. I think Miami, it was done in good faith. It was done in good faith on Kyle Lowry's part, probably the Miami Heat's part. But in all reality, everybody knew Raptors weren't re-signing him at $20+ million per year. He would have went there. They didn't need to make a trade. Instead, they gave us a transcendent center who was going to eclipse Antetokounmpo, Adebayo, and
the prophecy
Ibaka.
will be true.
And that is why he's Precious Antetokounmpo Achiuwa.
Adebayo Akumbo Achiuwa. Because he's going to be better than Bam. He's going to be better than Giannis. It is what it is. I see why we get that flack on Reddit, right? Are we people?
Hey, it's all good.
Don't
it's all
take
good.
our last 10 minutes of this serious.
I think we can spend our final minute concluding here, just giving our little plugs. Again, like Spike, thanks to everyone. We made it past 100. There's still an opportunity to get into the like section. There's also an opportunity to get on the early bandwagon. We've now sold, I think, 7 or 8 pieces of. Ben, you're slacking. You're slacking.
I spilt toothpaste. I was brushing I got a electric toothbrush now, and it goes crazy. And when I took it out, it sprayed toothpaste all over my OG's hoodie.
Put on the Raptors Digest hoodie, Ben. That's why we got 2.
The logo was all cheesed up, as we talked about before. So we got to figure that out. And I like the baby blue, you know?
Anyways, there's 7 or 8 available. That'd be cool, baby blue. There's 7 or 8 available now. Not available. There's 7 or 8 sold. There's that. If you've bought one, just go into the comment section. Let us know, because the advanced analytics aren't out. We can't really see them yet. So that's one. What else? Channel memberships. If you want to have access to emojis.
Paul Blunt, I know you're here. Throw out the
comments. A bunch of other stuff.
Emojis.
Participate in the Raptors Digest Fantasy Basketball League.
Who here is excited for the Raptors Digest Fantasy League? I want to see it in the chat, because I'm here. You know, people want to join up. If you want to join the membership down below. What?
Ryan Lavinia, Ben. Do you see that comment?
It's the Baines of brushing teeth.
Ben is the Aaron Baines of brushing teeth. That's a GOAT comment right there. That is a GOAT comment right there.
Try to get those pearly whites. You gotta get that electric toothbrush. That
man.
A power. Paul Blart, I knew he'd come in clutch with those. Look at the fresh emojis you get, and more are coming. If you join the Raptors Digest membership, the membership button should be below. The spicy pea, right? The spicy pea, hot chili pepper. You get Scottie Barnes glowing. Right, Mans is glowing out there. Right, you want to see all those? It's fire. Join the Raptors Digest.
Easy Money Sniper too, saying Raptors will finish 55 plus wins this season. Just watch. You and Ben, you're sharing the same. What is this? The same wavelength. You're both saying top 4, it seems. Before it gets too off the rails, again, channel memberships down below, like section down below, merchandise below. It's been a pleasure. The next game will be the first regular season game. Raptors are back, baby. They're back home. They're back at Scotiabank Arena. Excitement is in the air. It's going to be a fun season, Ben.
Yeah. L Trickster says, join in. Someone's got to make a fantasy team. Jenny to the D. You know, because the defense, you know, D for Damari Carroll. That's what it is. Get those spam going. Anyways, we'll have a lot of videos coming out this week as we preview, as we inch closer and closer to the season. Lots of fun stuff happens, so subscribe to Raptors Digest. Really helps us out. Trying to grow that channel. People were asking about the 1v1 Ryker in the last video. I think we've talked about this a bunch, but we had to hit it before Ryker left Newfoundland at the 20k subs mark. So now we're on that road to 25k. I might have to get the fresh animation out. I might have to cook out some more stuff, you know. The animations are coming hot and heavy this season. So subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. Really helps us out. But you know, we're doing a lot of plugging at the end here. We appreciate every single one of you. Whether you listen to us, you don't like the videos, comments, or whatever. We still appreciate you for watching. Helps us out. But if you do all those other things too, you know, it's reciprocative. Yeah. It's reciprocative. But the 1v1 will be coming. I'm trying it. Let's see if we can get to 25k subs by the time I'm in Toronto next month.
And yeah, next month.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Booking the flights.
Let's do it. Josh will be there too. Everybody who's a super channel member next month will have an open scrim. Depending on health and safety protocols, we will arrange it. That's the benefit of the big channel membership. So if you're interested in playing some open scrim with me, Ben, and Josh, and watch, maybe help film Ben and I's one-on-one, boom, that's a plan. Nice.
Yes. No, for sure. And we do have a super chat. Coming in. Gary Trent Jr. hasn't impressed. It's from Christian Burke. Give him the shout outs there. But hasn't impressed me at all. We lose Norm, who is in his prime, for a bang average, overhyped player. Big L for the Raptors front office. And Christian, Ryker and I were flamed for being very, very cheesed about the Norman Powell trade when it happened immediately. But we said, okay, Trent has promise. He's younger. He's not near the player Norm was, the player that Norman Powell we sent out. However, the development could be there. And this season we'll really get a good grasp on how Trent will play on a team with talent, right? And he shows the promise. He has a bit better handle, it seems, than Norm. He shoots a bit better off the dribble. Obviously, Norm was a much better spot-up shooter, and his pull-up developed, especially last season. And Norm is a much better finisher around the rim, more athletic, a bit better on defense. So I don't know. We will tend to agree. We were high on Norman Powell's. You were very shook about the trade. I sort of jumped on Trent a little bit earlier than you, Ryker. Do you have anything to say about Trent and the Norman Powell stuff? I
was upset about the trade because we didn't get a pick attached to it. And I felt like we weren't getting enough remuneration for a guy that was shooting 44% from 3, having his best season as a Toronto Raptor, right? His value was still there. Now, he is shorter. He's a 6'4", right? 6'4", 3 spot. Shoot it, small forward. That's how we were playing him. So we did increase the defense a little bit, but people are saying they're defending Gary Trent Jr. Zach L saying Gary Trent Jr. is nice. Not as good for the system currently as Norm, but wouldn't re-signing Norm have been more expensive? It was supposed to have been more expensive, but it ended up being around the same, which adds insult to injury.
And more years. We could have had Norm locked up.
Yeah, and we signed Gary Trent to a very player-friendly option rather than a team-friendly option, giving him sort of that player in the third year. So we only have him locked in for two actual NBA seasons. He might get even more expensive, but hey, if he gets that point that he's a max contract guy after 2 seasons, I still think we won, because Norm will never be a max contract guy, right? That's one way that you can frame it. People are really going to battle here, and I'm trying to catch myself up. Some people saying we should have paid Norm. Some people saying Trent's taken too many shots. Mohammed Harris is saying people are dumb. Gary Trent Jr. is younger, taller, hasn't played a full season yet, had that game winner, had the highest plus minus in Raptors history. He's done a lot of cool things on the Raptors already. Yeah. A lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying
to say.
Without
a doubt. And we're Trent. We're hyped, right? This is we're hyped about Trent, but if the hype doesn't pay off, which at least last season it rarely did, then we'll have some things to talk about. But the initial reaction was closer to what the super chat had mentioned. So that is what it is. We'll rant unless we get caught off by any super chats. We already had a long old outro plug and stuff, right? If you guys are interested in the fantasy league, join on, right? You can DM us on Instagram if you're struggling with it. Some people can't find the join button, right? It's a follow Ben Rogers one. I'll plug that too. Follow Riker.Rich. Up our ratios on your hunt for Jenny Driscoll. Up the clout, you know what I'm saying? Riker, do you have any final words on the Toronto Raptors getting a big W against the Washington Wizards? This could be the, because we have a week before a game. This could be the retirement video for the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award.
Yeah. So as we sign this off, one last, spam the comments. Not often we ask people to spam the comment section. Spam the comment section with a capital D for DeMarre Carroll. This could be the last time we see the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance of the evening. Soon to be, shout out Scrambles, the Golden Kazoo Award for worst performance. And that's it. That's all I got to say. Well, I just want to see a wave of capital D's come in, and then we will slowly sign this one off, Ben.
I'm gonna keep replaying the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award in honor of the legend. The legend.
They're coming in. They're coming in. They're coming in.
It's
lots of D's.
Throw the D's in
the
chat. You know, pay your respects. Pay your respects, guys. We need the spam. Rarely do we have the spam. You know, we gotta pay your respects.
Oh, D and a bunch of gold stars. Shout out Tanvir.
Your chat's ahead of mine, bro. I can't see this.
Tanvir Chowdhury, he's got those gold stars, man.
You know,
3 and D, lots of D's,
lots of gold stars.
We outie.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you, DeMarre. Thank you, Baines. Thank you, everyone. You guys are the best. Sign it off, Riker.
Cheers.